Welcome everyone to my channel. If this is your first time here, the people who've been here before know the deal. You pull up a seat, you sit down in it, and we're going to talk about this book. What book is that, you might ask? Well, it's A Whole New World, A Twisted Tale by Liz Brashaw. It's the first one in the series, and yes, they're all non-interconnected, but that doesn't matter. It's a Twisted Tale series. It's a Twisted Tale about all your favorite Disney fans and Disney stuff. Disney movies. That shit. Whatever that shit is. Okay, so what if Aladdin had never found the lamp? Aladdin is a street rat, like most. He's just trying to survive another day in impoverished Agrabah. Jasmine is a princess, one who is about to enter into an arranged marriage. All she wants is to escape her fate, to see what lies beyond the palace wall. But everything changes when the Sultan's trusted advisor, Jafar, suddenly rises to power. With the help of an ancient lamp, Jafar attempts to break the laws of magic and gain control over love and death. Soon, Aladdin and the disposed Princess Jasmine, it's not even capitalized. You should have that capitalized. Must unite the people of Agrabah in rebellion to stop the power-mad ruler threatening to tear the kingdom apart. This isn't the story you already know. This is the story about power, about revolutionaries, about love, and about one moment changing everything. We're going to read this. Yes, we are. We're going to read this. So, let's dive in. Okay, folks, so I have read up to page 134 of this Whole New World, okay? And it literally is like a whole new world after a little bit. So the first couple of stuff is mostly what happens in the movie that you see. You know, a lot of it. Some of it is not, like more details about the homeless in Agrabah, more details about how things work in the world, more details about that kind of stuff. And I like in the beginning that you meet his mother. It's really nice that in the beginning you meet Aladdin's mother, who's trying to raise him right, and you meet Arkham, who's a vendor. You also meet Rasul, freaking guard who always chases Aladdin around everywhere. You also meet two of his friends who are all become thieves, Morgiana and Duban. At the beginning, it's he gets caught stealing with his friends, and of course he's brought back. Arkin actually allows them to keep the food that Aladdin stole. They talk about Kasim, his father, which of course we know in Aladdin's third movie, which is King of Thieves. I had to think for a minute. I haven't seen that movie in a while. But yeah, you learn about Kasim in that. She's really mad at him for stealing because she doesn't want him to become a thief, a beggar, or anything bad, because she thinks he can go and do good things in the world, even though they're poor. He thinks that, he could make something of himself. And he's like, I did it for you, Mom. You deserve a treat. You never get anything for yourself. Because, what mothers do is that she always gives him the bigger portion, and he sees that, and he's a boy growing, and he knows that she also needs to eat, and he wants to give her food and things. So far right now, I'm enjoying it. So don't let life's unfairness, don't let how poor you are decide who you are. You choose who you will be, Aladdin. Will you be a hero who looks after the weak and the powerless? Will you be a thief? Will you be a beggar, or worse? It's up to you, not the things or people around you. You can choose to be something more. She believes he can do things and be things more than what the life has given to him. And right now he's considered a street rat. But she thinks he can be more than a street rat. Of course, all mothers think highly of their children and wanting things to do. And, then it goes on into him running from Rasul for stealing bread, of course. And it shows him that he, of course, gives the bread away to 2 children, his half, because that's what he does. And it shows him with Abu, his little monkey. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. And then, of course, there's Jasmine that comes in, takes the apple, gives it away, not realizing what's happening. And she's about to have her hand cut off, even though she says she knows the Sultan. And, of course, Aladdin coming in, saving her, making her sound like crazy. Then he sits there and shows her, they run away. And then we switch to Jafar. Jafar is doing the Seeing Beyond spell, which is called the Rizar Hadinoka, which allows him to see something. He wants a boy. And he has Rasul go find him. Rasul asks him where Iago is, because I want to know where Iago is. Where is Iago? Iago has not shown up. But then you learn the reason why he wants the boy. You are the only one, the ancient powers say, can enter the cave and live. Much good it may do you, my diamond in the rough. Ooh, that was a good line. I like that. That's a good line. I might actually make that my favorite line. You never know, okay? You never know what kind of line that will be. So, we switch back to Aladdin and, of course, Jasmine, who are talking about the homeless people, about the way people live, about their pets, because she mentions Raja, which, of course, is a tiger, but she says my dog. They're talking about stuff and how she doesn't know how the world works because she's a rich person. And, they also both talk about how they all feel trapped because of the way life makes them out to be, Which is also another thing I actually like, because they were, trapped. Because they both feel once you're trapped. Once you're born in the quarter of the street rats, you're trapped. And once you're born in the royal palace, everything is done for you, so you're trapped. Nothing you can do by yourself. She talks about how she's supposed to be getting married to this prince, to this person that she never knows, and everything like that. And, they're talking and they're getting close, and they almost kiss. And that's when Rasul shows up. And Rasul goes to get him. So, they try to escape, but of course Rasul ends up getting him. And she's like, unhand him by order of the royal princess. And then you're like, Jasmine. Of course, he's like, I can't, release him as you command, because this is for Jafar. You have to take it up with him. And she's like, oh, believe me, I will. So He, of course, gets shoved underneath in the very deeps of the cave dungeons, which nobody knows about besides Jafar, who meets the old man who Jafar pretends to be, because we all know it's Jafar, who talks about the Cave of Wonders and the lamp that he wants, and that Aladdin will get everything he wants if he just gets a man the lamp. So that's what, he goes on this lovely adventure to get this lovely lamp. Don't touch anything. He meets the magic carpet. Of course, Mom used to tell me bedtime about Jinjin and their magical treasures. So he has his magic carpet. He meets it. Magic carpet brings him to the lamp. Abu, of course, grabs the stupid thing. Infidels, you have touched the forbidden treasure. Now you will never see the light of day. And of course, the whole thing goes down. The whole rushing scene to get out. Of course, with carpet. Down in the troubled burning caverns of treasure like a falcon hurtling towards its prey. And then they get up to the thing where where the head is and everything's falling and shaking. And they catch the edge of the stairs. And he's like, help me out. Throw me the lamp. So Aladdin throws the lamp. And then, of course, the guy is trying to kill Aladdin with his cane. And he's like, what are you doing? Giving you your reward, your eternal reward. Abu bits his toe. And, of course, the old man with the dagger stumbles backwards. Kicking Aladdin's fingers, and then of course he falls in with the monkey and the carpet. Stop. So he's stuck, sealed hundreds of feet below ground, with no way out, no treasure, and no fucking lamp. Like that right there is a whole thing. So, we switch to Jasmine, who's seething because she couldn't find him in none of the 3 dungeons that they had. The regular dungeon, where thieves, goat stealers, and murderers were locked up, to, no, wait, hold on. To the royal dungeon, prison, where mostly the harmless troublemakers and tax evaders were kept. To the dungeon, to the royal oubliette, which is where the worst rapists, enemies of the state, and cavern raiders were thrown to be forgotten forever. Couldn't find him. And he goes to find Rasul, and Rasul says, by order of Satan, my lips are sealed. And then she speaks to her father about it, because she couldn't find Jafar. And they're talking about what happened, and then Jafar comes in, of course, and says, well, he's dead. And she's like, what? Yeah, dead. Taken out to the desert and shot and executed for laying hands on the poor person, whatever. He says, I'm here because I'm the new sultan, okay? And they're like, well, what? No. So he pulls out the lamp and rubs it, and the genie comes out. Talking about, 10,000 years in a lamp without a massage bath, a genie. And he's like, okay, lay it on me, master. He goes, so I'm granted 3 wishes. And he's like, yes, obviously, of course. There are a few provisions, a couple of quad pro quos. And he's like, yes, it's whatever. Genie, my first wish is to rule on high and become sultan. So now Jafar is sultan. So, my order. Bow to me. There are no escape, And then the sultan says, I will never bow to you. You will bow to me before I'm a sorceress. I wish to become the most powerful sorceress in the world. Which, of course, makes him force the 2 of them to bow to him. And then he says, for my last wish, I wish for the Princess Jasmine to fall desperately in love with me. And then Genie was saying, as I was saying before, Mr. High and Mighty Sorceress of the entire world interrupted me. Limitless powers don't excuse you from manners, your worshipfulness. There are a few provisions, the quad pro quos, to your 3 wishes. Here are the basic laws of magic, students. Listen up. Rule number 1, I can't kill anyone. Rule number 2, I can't make anyone fall in love with anybody else. And rule number 3, which I suspect is not going to apply to you. You don't seem like I made a terrible mistake, let's bring him back from the dead type. I can't bring people back from the dead. I liked it better when he was doing it to Aladdin. Truthfully. And I can't help it but having in Robert Williams' voice. It's just there. Robert Williams' voice as a genie, can't help it, okay? Can't help it. It's there. It's there. You know what would be nice? If Liz Brashwell actually did, because I'm enjoying this, made another one for, like, the Return of Jafar. And, of course, the King of Thieves. That would be awesome sauce. Ugh, no. Take that back. I take that back. Don't worry about that. So, yeah. He sits there and this one, it doesn't sugarcoat nothing. Okay? I'm sorry. So he's sitting there trying to get the world on his side. Well, Agrabah on his side. At last, long last, the suffering you endure at the hands of the Sultan is over. He says, with the support of the palace guards and the incredibly powerful genie and Princess Jasmine, I, Jafar, am the new Sultan of Agrabah. I will be Sultan of the people, tender to your every need. Will my first act of Sultan prove my good faith? And he showers them with gold. Which I don't think is actual gold, but whatever. So they all sing Long Live Jafar, and then there you see to everybody before him, you know, Jasmine, the Sultan, the genie, that is real power. And then he pushes the Sultan over the balcony. It fucking kills him. Shit. Ain't that something? That doesn't happen in the movie. Because, you know, it's a kid's movie. So, obviously, that can't happen. Then we switch back to Aladdin. Who is digging and digging and digging and digging with Abu and the magic carpet and digging and digging. And then he says as he's hallucinating Abu and the magic carpet, and he's still digging. Then he sees a light. Finally, after a couple of days of digging, he escapes with Abu and the carpet. And he goes, "You're real. We're all real and alive. Come on, let's go home. Agrabah. Take me to Agrabah." So the carpet takes him to Agrabah, where everything is a little weird because there's nobody out and around, and he's just confused where everybody is. The man goes, "Have you not heard? There's going to be a great parade for the new Sultan. Let me go. I don't want to miss it." And it happened while I was out. Like, seriously, what happened? What happened while I was buried? So he goes, finds a parade, and he watches the parade. You know, it's that big whole thing, make way. But of course, it's not make way for Prince Ali. It's make way for Sultan Jafar. The genie is there. The lamp is there. Jafar is there. And he's like, shit, that Jafar made a genie. So that's, it's like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? What the fuck am I going to do? Basically. And so he goes to the lair of the street rats. And then it switches to Jasmine, who's in her bed, mourning everything. And then Jafar comes in and says, hello, beloved. And he's like, we're going to get married. Okay? And she's like, I will never love you. I will never want to marry you. He's like, soon I will break the pitiful laws of magic that bind him and me, and I'll raise the dead from their graves to do my bidding. And then I'll make not just you, but all of the people of Agrabah love me. And then when the tiger growls out of the corner of his eye and tries to do something, Jafar snaps his fingers and Ra's just thrown across the room. And, you know, hurt, injured. And of course, she's so upset about that. I mean, like, who wouldn't be? And then she calls him a monster. He says, you have no idea. And then he's like, Genie, I need you to put her in a beautiful wedding dress because we're going to get married. And then, you know, at first, Jasmine is pissed that the genie is doing all this stuff because she doesn't understand what's going on at first. She's like, I can't believe you're doing this. I can't believe you're doing that. And then he finally gets it through her fucking head that he is trapped. He is an enslaved genie with manacles. And he's like, you have no idea what it's like to be trapped. You're a princess among men. And then she apologizes, saying, I am so sorry for not understanding that we're both trapped. That we both live this life of being trapped. So he says apology accepted. And then he talks about his whole race of Jijin. He had a wife. A beautiful wife. In purple. That's dead. And then she finds out the story of it, which I think is actually pretty cool that she made a backstory for this. I hope it was approved. Same old story. Dark prophecies about the end of the world, the end of our world, I mean. Time running out for the Dijin, the age of man beginning. And so, the genie, who he is, went out to find a way to, get more power. Infinite power is infinite wishes, right? So he went out to become the most powerful genie of the world. There was a catch, of course. You can't make the wishes yourself. The universe has a way of keeping things in balance. So, wham bam, thank you kazam, here I am, still paying for my hubris 10,000 years later, and the Deigen still died out. See, as they say. And so, he tried to go out and get power to save his dying race. And in the end, he got trapped for 10,000 years, and his race still died out, including his beautiful wife. So, unhappy endings everywhere. So Jasmine decides that she's going to start being a hero. I don't know how she's going to start being a hero with a beautiful dress on that was his wife's. The one that she wore on their wedding day. But she decides that's what she's going to do. And then we switch back to Aladdin, who's gone to the lair of the street thieves, which has Morganas and Dubin, and of course the rest of them there. And they're not all very friendly. Something happened between them. And I don't know what it is, but something happened. And there's an Alabama band of thieves, and so he goes, well, Aladdin, why don't you come sit down and break bread with us? And he's like, absolutely. So something's going on. Something happened between Aladdin and his friends, Dubin, and of course, Morgana, before, because they were his best friends growing up, and now they're no longer friends. They're leaders of some street rats who go out and do more than just steal for food. They go out to steal to make a buck, to make a bang, to get stuff and trade it, But now he's gone to them because he needs their help. Of course. Because he knows what he needs to do. Get the land. Rescue the princess. Save Agrabah. So, that's where we're at in this lovely tale right now. And I can't wait to read more. Really can't wait to read more of this. But I have other things I have to do, so we'll get into that later, okay? See you next. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, lots of shit go down. Lots of shit go down. There's a lot of shit that go down in this many pages. You wouldn't think a lot of shit would go down, but a lot of shit goes down, okay? Okay, so, as you know, we left off with Aladdin being in the lair of the quarter of the street rats, with Morgana and Dubin, and trying to get filled in on what's happened. So, he finds out that the Grand Vizier, Jafar, is now creepy Sultan Jafar, that he's giving away money and food for free for everybody, and that he killed the Sultan. Just threw him off the balcony, you know. So, yeah. And the golds don't have anything on one side, but they have like a distorted parrot on the other. I still need to know where Iago is. I think it's a little weird. Okay, so then he finds out that Jafar is to marry Princess Jasmine in a private closed ceremony tomorrow night. So he's like, oh shit, gotta do something about it. So, she's like, have you suddenly taken upon yourself to defend women's rights across the Sultanate? Or is there something you're not telling us? So he says his long story about why he disappeared, why he has a magic carpet, and everything. So, yeah, he finds that they still steal food and stuff, even though they don't need to anymore. So what he does is that he takes the magic carpet and Abu, and they go through the secret tunnel to the secret dungeon to get into the palace to be able to rescue the princess. Okay. And he clocks the movements of the people, the guards and everything, so that way he can go about it and learn everything he needs to know so he can thieve properly, which of course is stealing Jasmine. But then he sits there and sees something that makes him pause and wonder, because for all of his life, he thought the old Sultan was nothing but a crazy, decadent old man who played with toys while Agrabah starved. But then he was Jasmine's sad, lonely old father who wanted more kids or grandkids or his wife back. It was complicated. As complicated as my nose. So, he's going to, steal the princess, but when he gets to her door and the guards leave, the door opens and there is Jasmine trying to steal herself. Escape. So, they talk and she's like, we have to go save the genie, like now. We have to go. We have to go save him. He's like, dude, we'll come back for the genie, but we have to get you the fuck out now. And of course, they have Raja and with them. So when they're trying to escape, they run into Rasul. Okay, so Rasul tries to stop them. Unfortunately, a lot of things go from bad to worse. So Aladdin gets sliced in the side. He gets nicked. Raja attacks. A lot of things. I mean, it's massive mess. Aladdin orders carpet to get Jasmine so she can run away, but he doesn't. Of course, Rasul says, I don't want to kill you. Just give me back the princess. And there's a kid in my room. Hold on a second while I go deal with this. Rasul needs the princess so that way his men and him don't get their heads cut off and killed. And, of course, Aladdin wants to get the princess out because it's not right for her to be forced to marry some creepy-ass old dude for a throne. Aladdin goes up these columns to get onto this roof so he can get to the carpet, which has Jasmine on it, and of course there's also Abu. Can't take, unfortunately, the lovely Raja. And he gets onto the roof. Jasmine pulls him up, and then the column, that last column that he jumped off from, rocks and starts falling. Aladdin screamed carpet, who was damaged by Rasul's sword, said, "Get Rasul and knock him out of the way." The carpet tried to, but it got twisted up and tangled around Rasul's ankles. Abu managed to escape it, but there was a terrible, terrible crunch on his head, but not before. Okay, battery dead. I lost my train of thought for a second there. Okay, so, it's so sad that Rasul's dead. This is like the second character she's killed off that never actually died, because, you know, Disney films are for children, and, you know, people dying is just not something that mechanically happens to good people. You know, like, Russell's not really that good, but he still didn't die. So they leave behind, unfortunately, Raja and the carpet. I don't know why they left the carpet behind. Not entirely sure, but they left the carpet behind. A little weird, but what can you do, right? So, Jasmine and Aladdin talk a little bit about Jafar and what Jafar has done so far, and, you know, what happened with him getting arrested and why he was arrested and everything. And he's like, she was like, so it wasn't my fault. He would have found someone else to do his dirty work anyway. I was like, I have no idea. It's something I've wondered about, but it is your fault for not thinking of the consequences when you went out and about in Agrabah in disguise. I just thought you were a pretty rich girl slumming it, Your Royal Highness. And she's like, what is your name? I like this part right here. He's like, I am Aladdin, son of Hatefeh, who was the daughter of Tuanke, who was the son of Ibrahim, who was the daughter of a whole lot of people you've never heard of. No one's ever heard of. So Aladdin feels heavily with guilt for the death of Rasul, because he's never killed anyone before, and he's never been responsible for the death of somebody. And he's never wanted Rasul to die. To him, Rasul was like somebody he grew up with. You know, Rasul went from just somebody, like a guard just chasing him, to the captain of a guard trying to arrest him. And he's just always been this little thief that grew up being a thief. But, you know, it's just been a little tit for tat for them. He chases Aladdin around, Aladdin escapes. They have this little quad book roll about, you know, back and forth. And now Russell is dead. And he was responsible for it. Even though he didn't kill Russell, it was still his fault. And yes, now lots of heads are rolling because, you know, Jasmine's escaped. But yeah. So Aladdin brings Jasmine to Morgana, telling her that they're a bunch of worse thieves than he is. And she's like, wow, I am learning so much shit. So Duban and Morgana sit there and meet Jasmine. And Jasmine's like, here, have a crown. I don't want it. I've lost my father, I lost my tiger, I lost my kingdom. What's a crown going to do me? And she's like, well, if I wanted the crown, I would have stole it, Morgana says. So they discuss everything that's happening. And she's like, Jasmine's like, it's worse than what you think it's going to be. Okay, it's worse. Okay, what his plans are worse than what you think it is. He wants to make everybody in the world love him. He wants to raise an army of the dead to control the world. He wants to break the laws of magic. And it's like, we need to stop him. Will you help me stop him? What I need to do is rally people to my cause to support me. So, a rebellion, basically. A resistance, whatever it is. And I need somebody to help me stop him. It's like, I need your band of thieves to steal anything and everything that's coming into the city that could help him break the laws of magic. And I need your help to gather people behind me. And she's like, I'm going to make this world, my kingdom, where people can be free, where people don't have to worry about being hungry, where children can go to school, kids can go to school, boys and girls, to learn. That's what I want to do with my kingdom. Because I've seen the royal side, and I've seen the poverty side. I want to bridge that gap. So that's Jasmine's goal. So there's that. It's really something, I guess. Then we switch to Jafar. And Jafar is doing something terrible to the carpet. And he's talking to himself. Now, he sits there and acts like he's talking to Iago. But in one of the passages, because he says, none at all. You have no idea. None at all, Iago. You lived your life pampered and plush in these gilded halls. Everyone gives you treats and crackers. Even that stupid old Sultan used to spoil you. When I was a boy, my mother gave me nothing but my name. I was sold as a slave to the first person who would take me. And he was like, he's done something to twist it to the carpet. And he's like, perfect. Don't you think so, Iago? But of course, the room was empty, except for the carpet and the sorcerer. And no one answered him. So, what the fuck happened to Iago? What did he do to Iago? That's like, what blows my mind right now is like, we have no information about what happened to Iago. Because Rasul says, didn't you have a pet named Iago? Where is it? And, you know, he's like, oh, probably eating crackers somewhere. And then he's talking to Iago, but Iago's not there. So, did he kill Iago? Did he make Iago into something? Like, what the fuck happened to Iago? So, that makes him crazy, okay? I just crazy. So then we skip back to Agrabah and Aladdin and the group of thieves. So, the group of thieves stopped a caravan that came in, distracted him. 2 women, distracting the men with water, the street children, distracting him with other things, while Aladdin slips in, picks a lock on a chest, and picks the books out. Now, each book has to be stolen because we know that the books are magic and going to try to break the laws of magic. So, they slowly take the books out of the caravan and make like a switchback where they switch people holding the books several times to make sure that nobody knows about them. They bring them back to their lair. And then Aladdin slips out of the caravan and puts on a robe to make him look like a woman, so that way nobody will know that he wasn't there. Okay? So as Aladdin and Morgana are walking back, she's like, you make a pretty, believable girl. He's like, so do you. So he was asking about the other girl who was amazing. Her name was Parsia, and she was one of the most skilled in the thieves of their little band. And he's like, you probably should, a man who has the attentions of an attractive royal princess should probably keep his eyes to himself. He's like, I'm just kidding, Morgana. I really only have eyes for Jasmine. No offense. So, they're talking about their profession and what happened. So, Aladdin didn't like the way Morgana Dubane turned to thieving for more than just feeding themselves. Of course, they were trying to do it for the kids that can't and the elderly that couldn't steal some food and other things to make sure that they could live a better life and feed the hungry children and the older people who can't feed themselves anymore. And I was like, I couldn't do that. I can't do that. Because my mama told me I was better than this. You're better than this. So then they come upon this weird looking stand with tents and stuff. And they walk up to this man and he's like, what's going on here, friend? Haven't you heard? They're giving out bread. Better get in line fast. Jafar said too many of the wrong sort were preying on his generosity. So, the guards are trying to make them swear allegiance to Jafar in order to get bread. Like, one of the questions is, do you swear your entire allegiance to Jafar and his new government, Agrabah Ascendant? Do you swear to uphold his laws and revere him with the respect and love due to the rightful suzerain of the lands inside the Atarazak Mountains? Do you swear? So, yeah, like, they might have words, though. The words might have some magical meaning because these guards are not normal guards. Or at least I don't think they are. Anyways, they're just a bunch of guards having them swear. And then, of course, Raja is now coming in, and there's all this kind of stuff. There was a ribbon tied around his neck, and with a note saying that we should be on the lookout for a particular book in Jafar's wagons. Al something or other. It was signed the genie. So, now they have Raja, and the genie is helping convey what something is coming in, what's expected in it, or at least something of the sort, and to make sure it won't reach Jafar, because the genie knew that they were stealing from him, because he was part of the caravan that brought in the books that they stole. So now they know the genie's working with them, because of course the genie doesn't want to do what Jafar wants him to do. Genie hates him, hates the way he's doing things, but he has no choice, of course, because he's a slave to whoever owns the lamp. Of course, my question on this is that, yes, he hasn't granted all the wishes, but how can he order the genie around without all the wishes? You know? Just, it is really weird. So he goes to visit Jasmine, because she never left, and he was looking up, what's that? These four, like, elongated triangles, like claw marks from a giant beast. The mark of Raja is supposed to mean resistance. Some of the street rats thought that if Jafar has a symbol, we should have one too. So, they're looking for a particular, Jafar's looking for a particular book that deals with magic of the dead and the undead, which is called Al-Azif by Abdul Al-Hazred. So, they go to look at the books, but they're not in there, and then they're talking. So, Alan's like, yeah, when we get this book, we're burning it. And Jess is like, burn it? Why? We can use it. We can use it for our own gains, and then we can keep it to make sure nobody else uses it. And I was like, no. It's evil, and if it gets into somebody else's hands, evil shit can happen. We burn it. And they get into like a yelling match. So, Jasmine's like, more strength, more weapons couldn't hurt. Oh yes, they could. When the weapons are evil, and just because a book is in our hand doesn't mean it couldn't wind up in someone else's hands. We need to burn it. That keeps it from ever being used for ill purposes. And then he screams about his mother, who believed in marriage, indigence, inheritance, and wanting, granting wishes, and fixing everything with a snap of your finger. And he says, if you believe magic can do everything, fix everything, you're crazy as my mother. And then Jasmine's like, and he says, hey, I know you miss him. I miss my mom too, despite all those things I just said. But you can't bring your father back. He wouldn't be the same. He wouldn't want it. He's like, he's gone, Jasmine. Let him go. And she's like, this is all my father's fault. Because if he wouldn't have done what he did, if he would have noticed with the huge population of incredibly poor people, and even the huger disparity between the wealthy and the nobles, there would have been some opening for Jafar. He would never have been able to be supported as Sultan if he had done right by his people. She's like, I write in history books, great rulers, and spend all their time playing with children's toys. They didn't let their advisors handle everything. They didn't just let ordinary people go hungry for no reason. Ordinary people like you. Then she asked what happened, what made her turn to a life of thievery. So he speaks of his father leaving on this adventure to find money and gold, and who didn't care about what happened besides a moment of fun that left. And his mother, who could do awesome things like make soup out of dust and a drop of water, make decent clothing from people who give away secondhand scraps. He was like, she was completely deluded, insane and irresponsible in her own way. Another woman would have people hunt her wayward husband dead and bring him back. Another woman would have declared him dead and found another husband, a better man. She believed that he would come back until the day she died. She died young, of course. She was overworked and came down with a wasting disease. It was one thing that drove me apart from Deben and everyone. She rats take care of each other, my mother always said, but no one took care of us. So while his mother was dying, he had no one to help her, comfort her, or take care of her. It was just him. And then he's like, it's not fair, I guess. Everyone's got something. Everyone has someone starving, sick, or dying. Mariana's parents would spend any money they got on wine. Deben's dad was lame, and his older sister was married to a man who beat her. She's like, I had no idea. Well, yeah, it's all bad. And he's like, I used to dream of living in the palace. But wealth isn't a magical lamp that erases your problems. And she talks about how she feels like she's caged. He's like, having the freedom to choose is better than having everything you want. And that's when she talks about how she wants children to go to school, how she wants to have people fed and free, how she wants people to be boys and girls to learn. And then they kiss. And it's Jasmine who kisses him first. This is so sweet. And that's where I got up to. So I'm on page 216, and there's 376 pages. So I'm a little over halfway, and I can't wait to read the rest, but I've got other shit to do, so I have to sit there and put it away and do other readings, because readings are readings, and I need to get on with other things that are important. So we're going to come back after I've read more and talk. I might not even come back until after I've finished the book. So we'll see how I feel Monday, Tuesday. But it's almost done. So I'll see you in the next clip. Okay. I was supposed to update you sooner, but I didn't. So, A Whole New World, A Twisted Tale by Liz Brasham. I finished, and it's a 4. I'm telling you now, it's a 4. Okay, so where we literally left off in the last time was, Jasmine and Aladdin kissing. That's literally where we left off. A lot of shit happens. I mean, like, we're less than 200 pages to finish, I guess you could say. So, yes. Where should I pick up? This is just a bunch of lovely stuff. This is stuff that I don't want to care. Okay, so they found out that the lovely peacekeeping patrollers were not even human. They're golems that just melted into the air, and they got done for the last time. So, Jafar is looking for the location of Jasmine, and he tries to get somebody to tell him where, and this person doesn't really know, and so he, at the end of it all, sits there and makes the guy's head twist around, and it breaks off, literally. And then he said, next. So He's also branding people now with a brand. If they devote themselves completely and utterly to be loyal to him and him only. Like, just way out there, dude. Way out there. Alright? That's just way the fuck out there. She meets with the genie, and he says that, about as if they need to do that. They need to figure out where it is and where it's coming in and how to get it. He says he'd like to travel as far away from here, from his memories. He would like to see snow, maybe. And, then he leaves. What they don't know is that he got caught, and so he got tortured. But we find this out a little later, and they do too. And they start talking about how they need to do things, and rally people to them. And a guy named Amar, the head of the Jewelers Guild, comes in and speaks to them on behalf of jewelers and other higher end people who don't want to be on Jafar's side. They want to be on they want to be on her side. So yeah, that's what that is. So they're like so Jasmine goes out and hands out food for free to get people on to her side. And to try, the most to talk to several people. And I can't really remember what I need. Really, it's that. So, yes. They find somebody who isn't a street rat that comes around, and they're like, trying to figure out who he is, and I'm a citizen of the Great Jafar, and that's when they learn that the mark of Jafar is being burned onto people's hands and other body parts. Yeah, so that. Jasmine says, go crawl back to your master Scum, tell him that I am the eyes and ears of my people, and they do not want him. So he runs away. We're like, we need to attack Jafar directly and take back Agrabah. So they go to do the heist with a girl lying on the ground crying for help to steal it, but what they find, well, Aladdin finds, it's just nothing but fucking rocks in everything. So, they find out it's a trap and that things were not going the way they were, and he's like, my scouts have already returned from Corsica. I also have his in my possession. This is just to lure you out, leaving your hideout completely unprotected. And then he sat there and says, I know about it, and all that stuff. And then you find out he's grabbed 3 people. Okay? And those are Maraf, I think that's his name, and what else is his name? Oh, Shiriran and Ahmed. Maraf is the father of Duban, and Shirian and Ahmed are his niece and nephew, because his sister had them. And yeah, so he's captured them, put them in an hourglass, and says, you have until this morning, when the sun rises, to bow down to me, Jasmine. And so they're like, alright, well, we need to do this. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a 2-pronged type of strike. We're going to have a group of thieves break in, get the book, get the genie, get the kids, and get the lamp, get the book, get the kids, and get back out. Yeah, that's the plan. And while they're doing that, which is going to be Aladdin, Duban, and Morigana, Perseus gets in on it, but she blows up Jafar's tower. Jasmine is going to be rallying the people and making commands and telling people what to do. So that's basically what happens. They break in to do that. Now, before that happens, though, they want, who's going to fight the men and everything, and who's going to be doing stuff. So, the women go, well, we can help too. And then they bring forth a child, a ghoul child, a dead child that was raised back. But they remember a little. So you can kind of control them, which is interesting. really, it is. So they have a bunch of people who are going to help him with the whole thing. And, you know, things happen. So somebody dies and Jasmine has to kill him in front of her because the person got injured to the point of dying and dead, became back a ghoul, and she just killed him to make sure he stayed dead. Morgana got captured because they were trying to pretend to be guards after they broke in, and because of that, Aladdin and Dubin, who pretended to be the guards, pretended that Morgana was somebody they captured when they opened up this part and they got, you know, trapped that they're going to bring her to prison. So 2 guards took her away, but she did escape. Aladdin and Dubin make it to the I'm trying to think of it. To the place where the secret dungeon is, where they think everything should be. And when they open it up, no, they're not there. Instead, it's a guard, 2 guards who attack, and they have to fight them and knock them out. And what should they do? Dubin does. They get knocked out. They don't. But Dubin gets injured, so it's kind of hard for them to do anything. Really. But then they make it to the throne room. Okay. And in the throne room, they see Jafar, Jasmine, and the kids with the lamp. Okay. So Jafar is all like announcing that they're going to get married immediately, because Jasmine breaks off from the rest of the group of people that she's trying to command and surrenders herself to one of the ghouls for Jafar to take. She said, I'll agree to marry you, but I'm not going to love you, but we can make people think I'm in love with you. And he's like, that's not going to be enough. We got to do more than that. And so Aladdin goes to reach for the lamp while they're all distracted, and gargoyle alarm happens and vines reach out and grab him. So Jafar's like, I knew this was going to happen. I planned for this. I did this. And then they show off Genie. He's like nailed into something and unable to move, which is really sad. He's like trapped, and it's a painful kind of trapped, because this is what happens when people don't do what I want to do. So Jafar even goes so far as saying, hey, I'll bring back your mother and I'll make you do, all kinds of things. Terrible things, So a big battle ensues. He said, I'll bring back Abu too. I'll make Abu my ghoul, and I can make them into real people. No, I was like, no, not fall for that shit. But a big battle ensues. Jasmine gets hit in the head with some flaming projectiles. Morgana tries to break out the children, Shirian and Ahmed, Morif, and Dubin gets hit. He actually has a flaming Shirian in front of him, and then Jafar tries to bring out Abu, and a flaming Abu, but it doesn't look like Abu. It looks like a bamboo. So he's like, nah, and then gets rid of it. And then Dubin makes a flame with 2 swords that gets rid of the flaming Shirian. And they're fighting. And then Aladdin's like, I gotta get this staff. So he goes for the staff, and they're fighting. And Jafar's trying to keep the staff, and they're fighting. And Aladdin finally gets the staff, and he tosses it to Jasmine because Aladdin's choking him out. He's choking to death, And he's like, break it. And instead, she starts reciting something that makes Jafar choke. She's like, I've been reading. I can end it. I can end you. And Jafar's pleading for his life. He wants to be saved. He's learned his lesson. Imprison him. Exile him. And then she orders him to take out his dagger, and Aladdin's trying to plead with her not to kill him. It's not the way to do it. Have a trial. Execute him publicly so everybody can see it. But don't outright kill him right now. And then she decides not to. She breaks the staff on the hourglass, and Shireen and Ahmed and Maruf are free. And then you were right. Then Dubin says, Jasmine may not have the heart to kill you, but I do. And so he goes to start choking Jafar with the evil book in his hand. So he says, I still have one wish left, you fools. And she's like, try to find space. I'm not afraid there will be short rest when you're done. Someone will be able to take the lamp and have the genie undo it with everything that you've done. So he goes, hear me, genie. I wish that when I die, all magic dies with me. Yeah, that's a big drop, man. That's a big drop. So, when he dies, there's no magic to fix anything, and Genie's now human. And he's like, those weren't my powers. They were who I was, who all the agents are. We can do things the same way you monkeys can walk upright or read books. And he's not clued into what being a human is, because he's never been a human. So they confront Dubin about how it's his plan to kill Jafar from the very beginning. So then they celebrate that he's dead. They won. Raja's alive. Akbar is ours. And, so Dubin, Jasmine, Aladdin, the genie, and Morrigan eventually go back to the palace. The children and Maruf are, a room with Sultan's toys, happily playing. Dubin says, well, this is this. No, he distantly kicked. I was just now smoldering other as well as a heap of pile of paper and ashes. There's a lamp Aladdin finds, and then Genie's like, he's like, I think I'm going to get away from there. Travel. I'm going to go out and see the world, find some star, a new life as a human, somehow. And she says, thank you for everything. I'm sorry about everything. And then he says, I'm sorry you're going. I wish we could have gotten to know each other better. She seemed like one of the good guys. And then Dubin's like, I'll come with you. I need to atone for what I did. I need to forgive myself. It was a pretty big mistake, and I'll come back when it feels right. And then Morgan's like, those kids are destroying my future office, and walks away. So Morgana is going to become but Jasmine's Grand Vizier. And Jasmine's going to use the street rats to keep people happy as much as she can. So there's that. And then Nana's like, well, what about me? I'm smart, I'm tough, and I've been with you from the very beginning. She's like, you're going to be too busy, darling. As prince, you'll have other responsibilities and duties. And he's like, oh, what'd you say? And then they kiss. That's literally the end. I enjoyed it. And I think, honestly, they need to sit there and do, like, Return of Jafar. Well, they can't do Return of Jafar because Jafar's dead. Never mind. But what about the King of Thieves? The King of Thieves? The King of Thieves? With Cassim coming back in? Come on. You can do it, Liz Breshwell. Do it, Liz Breshwell. Do it. Now I'm gonna go get Once Upon a Dream, which is Sleeping Beauty's tale. So, yeah. That's what we need to do. As all the time and part of your world may be. Once Upon a Dream. It will be the next one I get. So, my favorite character was actually... well, it was Aladdin. It was a much more fleshed out character than I thought he would be. So he had more than just the, I'm a thief who wants better in the world, who falls in love with a princess and wants to just be with her. That makes him more dimensional. He's a thief who's just trying to better himself, but he wants other people to better themselves, because he wants people to do what they need to do just for themselves and to be better, to be wholesome. And he's like, I just want to help this girl out because she doesn't deserve to have her hand chopped off. And then he's like, I want to help Jasmine get back Agrabah because that's the right thing to do. And he's like, this is what my mama taught me. This is how I feel. This is how things should be. you know? And so, like, yeah. I have to do this. It's getting a little annoying on my eyes. So, there we go. I just peeled this thing off, by the way. It's this little thingy with tips and stuff. I need it gone. Okay, my most disliked character, Jafar. Because he went cray-cray. Okay, that sounds terrible. He went crazy. More off the deep end, wanting to bring people back to, he brought people back from the dead, and he controlled them, and he wanted to do it to the whole fucking world, and make everybody love him, and everybody be Jafarland, and he promised Aladdin, you're gonna be the only sane one when I get done, when I do everything. Everybody will love me, but you'll be the only one that's sane. You know how creepy that sounds? Like, ooh, man. You need to go and be gone. Well, he is gone now, because he's dead now. And he sacrificed his bird. I forgot his name already. I remember his name eventually. Where's your bird, dude? I know it. It's not a boo. It's, oh God, what is your name? I know it. I do know it. I just don't understand why I don't remember it. Wait, what? I forgot your name. Iago. Why did I forget Iago's name? He sacrificed Iago, and killed him to be able to see how to get the lamp. And then he cut magic carpet up to make flying dead people be his sentries and be able to fly him fucking self. And then he tortured a genie and locked him up to control him. What's it remember? This literally was a twisted tale. Like, one little thing was changed. One. And things went so fucking different. And I do mean so fucking different. Technically, it's two things. One, he sacrificed Iago to get the knowledge that he got the original time without sacrificing Iago. And two, he kept the lamp instead of Aladdin getting the lamp because of a boo. So, like, oh my God, those two twists were just something. And I gotta say, I'm excited to read what Once Upon a Dream is going to change for the Sleeping Beauty story. And what all of the twisted tales are going to bring, okay? And this is actually wrong. What if Aladdin never found the lamp? What if Aladdin never kept the lamp? That's what it is. And this is really, it's published by Disney Hyperion, but in all honesty, it's a little dark for kids, more for teens and young adults than it is for the younger generation. So, yeah, there is that. Now, I'm sure I've marked spots. Here is my favorite quote. I'm going out of order because I saw this first. Don't let life's unfairness, don't let how poor you are decide who you are. You choose who you will be, Aladdin. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Will you be a hero? Will you be a hero who looks after the weak and powerless? Will you be a thief? Will you be a beggar? Or worse? It's up to you, not things or people around you. You can choose to be something more. Like his mother says that to him when he's young. And it literally impacts him for the rest of the story. Because he decides that he doesn't want to be just any type of thief. He just wants to be a thief to be able to eat. To feed him and his pet monkey that his mother got him, which his mother should not have got him, because that's another mouth for him to feed. And he really did not need another mouth to fucking feed, because he didn't have money to feed his own mouth. That might be a possible one. I'm looking for the thing. Those are some shocking ones. You want me to read some shocking shit to you? Yeah. Those are some shocking things. I can read some shocking things. They're not my favorite passages, but yeah, that one right there is a different story. Okay, I think this is actually my favorite passage, but we're gonna make sure I didn't star anything. That's a sad turn of events. That's a large-ass quote. That was just crazy shit. No, this one is. He never would have dared kiss the royal Princess Jasmine, but it turned out he didn't need to. The royal Princess Jasmine leaned over and kissed him. So, like, ooh la la. I guess that could be my favorite passage because I don't think I see anything else that would be remotely passable for a favorite passage. Like I said, there's a few shocking passages. Yeah, there's a few shocking passages, but nothing but that. Yeah, I think that's my favorite. Yeah, that would be my favorite passage. So, there you go. What I thought about the end of the book. Well, shit. You guys are fucking out of luck, aren't you, huh? No magic. Nothing to fix the dead coming back to life. Nothing to fix the flames and destruction that was caused by the fight between a magical, powerful sorcerer and people, ordinary people who wanted to rebel. There's nothing at all that they can do besides rebuild slowly and surely. And I mean, it gives Jasmine enough time to do things she wants to do them. So, yeah. That's what I thought about the end of the book. It was okay. That's why it's like a 4, because Genie just, Genie became magicless, and I think that's a little shitty. And that's the reason why it's only a 4 instead of any higher, because of that. What book did it remind me of? This actually reminded me of Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, even though that's an after thing and not a before thing or a during thing or an actual thing, but it's still taking the story you know and love and changing shit up in it. So, yes, Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. I think it's by Jen Catalito and Mary Marcusa. No, wrong person. Where is Long Live the Pumpkin Queen? Hold on. Let's go find this real quick. There it is. It's by, Shay Earnshaw. That's who it's by. It's by Shay Earnshaw, okay? You didn't get to see it, but I did. And, yeah. So that's what it reminded me of. This book, as you know, is part of a series called The Twisted Tale. And, let's see.
Let that shit happen. I told you, I'm gonna bust your ass. You got to fucking start doing your schoolwork.
I want 25 books so far. Holy fucking shit.
You go from pissing in your pants all the time to fixing that, and now you don't want to pay attention in school.
No, 24. Now, listen to that.
You turn 18. You want me to throw a switch in the trash?
Oh. Whole New World is number 5? I don't care if it's number 5. They don't have to be read in fucking order. Like, act fucking all. But, as all the time, part of your world, reflection, so this is love, a whole new world, go the distance, what once was mine, straight on till morning, on birthday, mirror, mirror, once upon a dream, conceal, don't feel, almost there, fate be changed, Princess of Thieves, what the fuck is Princess of Thieves? Oh, that's Robin Hood. Okay. When you wish upon a star, set in stone? Really? They did a twist on the cauldron? Oh, no, yeah, okay. Okay. Suddenly super... What's the Twisted Tail and... What does that have? Short stories with new takes of fan faces. Soon as Alan meet right after the Little Mermaid saves her prince. Ariel and Eric meet after the Little Mermaid saves her prince. Join Tiana and Naveen on a race to get back to Meladonia. Take a ride on a pirate spaceship with Jim Hawkins. And uncover just what power Tinkerbell's Pixie Dust holds. Oh, if they did one for Jim Hawkins, that would be fucking awesome. They better do one for Sally's Lament. Cruel Truth, be prepared. How far I'll go. What? Oh, Moana. And then Adventure is out there. What is this one? Oh, from Up. That's so interesting. Okay. Well, I really actually want a Twisted Tail anthology. That's one I really want because it's got a Jim Hawkins in it, and I love me some fucking Treasure Planet. Oh, maybe I need to look that up. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look that up. Okay, but there's 24 books so far in a series, and I didn't realize that when I first started this. But they're Twisted Tales, so you don't have to read them in order. Neither book has anything to do with the other book. They're all different. There's a lot of different authors too. So like you'll be collecting from a lot of different authors. And yes, it's gonna irk me that they're not gonna be, the whole series is not gonna be on a line on a row because I gotta put them by the freaking last names of the author. But hey, that's okay. That's okay. So as you know, I rated this a 4. Because of Jafar's wish to do no magic in the world. Poor magic carpet, okay? Pour the motherfucking magic carpet, okay? It got cut up and then it died. Just okay. And then poor Genie. He was a Djinn, became a genie, and now he's got nothing. Nothing. Okay. Anyways, if you guys think I deserve a like, comment, or even your lovely subscription, why don't you go ahead and drop it down below. I would see you next illusion.